Good afternoon to all our listeners and viewers of the NDC Heartbeat podcast. We want to welcome all of you who are on WeFM, Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio, and indeed on the NDC Facebook page. Today's program will be, as usual, a very interesting one. We are going to interact with the folks out in the diaspora. We're going to London, we're going to Canada, we're going Florida, and New York. We're going to be chatting with all of these individuals who are going to be making a special effort to have a great 49th anniversary of independence celebrations. So we'll be back with you in a moment. And before we close today's program, we're going to have the Minister of Education, the Honorable David Andrew. We'll be talking about education matters. As you know, schools reopened just about 2.5 weeks ago. So we'll be chit-chatting with him on his successes in that area. So back with you in a moment. We give a quick recap of last week's program. Stay tuned.
Previously on The Heartbeat.
Your part in spreading the word that the independence celebrations in New York is back. We want full participation. We want, Anton's is a big place, so we want to full participation at the ball. The tickets are available. You can call the numbers to get tickets. The church service should also be. Remember, the church service is going to be at 4 p.m. on the 29th. We want to come out. It's good to bounce this thing off in prayer. I advocate for that. So the important thing is to share the word, spread the word, so that we could all come out and celebrate together as we move Grenada forward.
Yes, the journey to 50, reflecting on the past, planning for the future. And just to give a quick recap, Friday, we start off with a cultural evening, Friday the 27th from 7 p.m. to 11. That's at Our Lady of Refuge Hall on 2024 Star Avenue. Then on Saturday, we have the Youth Fest, January 28th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then Sunday, January 29th, we have St. Gabriel's Episcopal Church, 331 Hawthorne Street. That's the ecumenical service. And then the big gala.
I just want to encourage everyone to come out. The awesomeness that is Jarrell Bartholomew on saxophone. It's something to see. Donnell Best on violin it will be an amazing evening. The music, the DJs, the raffle, the dresses, the feeling of unity that will be at the gala.
On the NDC podcast program today, special warm welcome to those on WeFM, Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio, and of course on the NDC Facebook page. And we ask those of you who are on that online platform to please share the live. Please share the live. So for today's program, we're going to be chatting with the chairperson of the London Independence Committee. In fact, he is engaged in other committees out there. His name is Claude Sylvester, and we'll be coming back to him very shortly. On the podcast today, we also have Ms. Dawn Francois. She is the Honorary Consul in Canada, in Toronto. We'll be chatting with her. And from Florida, we have Elizabeth Liz Alec. She is the immediate past president of the Grenada Cultural and Civic Association of South Florida. And of course, in New York, the veteran Jerry Hopkin, PR consultant for the New York Independence Committee. We also would have a message. She is not online today, but certainly will be here next week. That's Ambassador Yolan Smith. She has a message from the Washington office, Washington Embassy, which we will share with you later on. But for the moment, Claude, we want to welcome you to the podcast. And please introduce yourself. Let us know what you've been doing in England all these many years. Welcome to the NDC Heartbeat.
Thank you very much. My name is Claude Sylvester. I've been in England for quite a while. I came in England in 1977. And I've been in voluntary work for Grenada since 1986 or thereabout. I'm involved with several things. The three main things I'm involved with. Firstly, I'm the chairperson of the Grenada Voluntary Hospital Committee. That committee was formed in 1967 by
Wow.
3 Grenadian nurses. Secondly, I'm also involved with the Grenadian Heritage Day. The Grenadian Heritage Day is an annual festival which is held in London. It was started by Miss Ruth Rouse, who I understand, who I think is the cabinet secretary. But when she was the High Commissioner in London, she started that. And that has been going very well. It is the largest event in the Grenadian calendar in London. I'm also involved with other things, but I'm here to talk mainly about the independence, what's happening around London.
Right.
And there are three events that are taking place. The first one is on the 4th of February, what I will describe as the younger generation. They're having a boat cruise on the River Thames that is hosted by 2 very well-known DJs in the Grenadian community. So that's taking place on the 4th. The second event is something called the Even Song, but I'll explain what it is. Every day there's a service at the Westminster Abbey. On the day when it's the Independence Day of any Commonwealth country, the High Commissioner and members of that community are invited to the service. So on the 7th of February, there will be a church service at Westminster Abbey, and the High Commissioner will be doing the reading, and several Grenadians will be attending the event. But the big event would be the gala. The gala will take place on the 11th of February in a place called Wood Green in North London. And the gala has been going for many years and has been very successful and very well attended. So we're hoping that this year we'll have a very good turnout. We have live entertainment. We start with a cocktail, live entertainment. We have a well-known international saxophone player called the Mighty Justin. And from 11 p.m. we have the dance. So the event will be attended by the High Commissioner. And we're hoping to have a really nice event. The response so far has been very good.
Great.
Thank you.
Wonderful indeed. Let me take this opportunity, Claude, to extend my thanks and appreciation to High Commissioner Keisha Grant, whom is really responsible for me getting in touch with you. So my thanks and appreciation to the High Commissioner. But we'll come back to you in a while, Claude. Or do you wish to continue on further?
No.
You're good for the moment. We're back with you on the second round. So let me at this time introduce the Honorary Consul in Toronto for Grenada, Ms. Dawn Francois. Good afternoon, Dawn.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And thank you for having me on the program.
Great. I know that you have a very busy schedule today, so we thank you for spending some of your valuable time with the Heartbeat and to just share with Grenadians locally and abroad what is going to be happening in Toronto in celebration of Grenada's 49th anniversary of independence under the theme, The Journey to 50, Reflecting on the Past, Planning for the Future. Okay. Please share with us your plans for Toronto.
Certainly. Most of the independence planning is undertaken by the Grenada Independence Planning Committee, which I chair and have been a member of that for the past 10 years, first as a secretary and now as the chairperson. There are several events that we have, the Independence Church Service being the first one, which will happen on January, on February 5th at 3 p.m. at the Toronto Adventist Church. Then that's followed by the flag raising on the 7th, which is at 3 p.m. And then on Saturday the 11th, we have the Independence Gala. And then we have the showcase, which is on February 19th. The church service usually have great attendance, over 300 plus. Wow. The last one we held was in 2018, which was in person. As you know, in the last 2 years, we were unable to do so. However, in 2021, 22, we were able to do live stream. And what we saw from that the viewership was over 1,000 plus for 2022. Our flag raising also usually draw a crowd anywhere from 64 to 100 persons, regardless of the elements. So it could be minus 25, snow on the ground, we still come out.
Wow.
The Independence Gala is hosted by the Toronto Association, and that usually, again, is a large turnout. So we have about 600 plus, and that's been the numbers for the years that I have been attending, which is over 30 years plus, regardless, again, of the elements, we all come out. Showcase Grenada is showcasing everything from Grenada. So we usually bring the produce from Grenada. We have a marketplace. We have a restaurant that sells everything Grenadian, from oil down to rice and peas to, saltfish sauce. And then we have different vendors who can showcase their produce for us, or their products. So it could be anything from books to crafts to T-shirts, or even to photography that we usually have at that. And that we have seen about 600 plus, again, in attendance. And sometimes we're able to have a after event where we have had different artists performed from Grenada. We have had a Jamo, we have had Dish, we have had other local like Kenny C who will perform, and we'll be hoping to have Kenny C again perform this year for us. And that's wraps up our events of what we have, but they're always well attended, and especially the gala, as I said, which is usually by the Grenada Association. They host that event.
Great. Sounds like it's going to be a rather exciting and interesting celebrations out there in Toronto. Okay. Are you still hearing me okay, Don?
I am.
Okay, fine. Let me just take this quick opportunity to extend my thanks to Ambassador Yolan Smith, who is based in Washington, for arranging the connection, and also Miss Bernadette Thomas Alexis, who also assisted. So I want to extend my thanks to them both. So we'll come back to you in a moment, but if you have to rush off, because I know you indicated you had a very busy schedule, if you have to rush off, we'll understand. But if you
I'll be here for a little bit.
Oh, great. Wonderful. So we try to get back to you on the second rounds very shortly. Let me at this time introduce and invite Miss Elizabeth Alec. She's out in Florida. She is the past president of the Grenada Cultural and Civic Association of South Florida. Good afternoon, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining the Heartbeat today. And please share with us, what are your plans in South Florida to celebrate Grenada's 49th anniversary of independence?
Good afternoon, panel. It's been a pleasure to be here. The Grenada Cultural and Civic Association of South Florida started in 1988. So we've been around for about 35 years. And we have enjoyed the community, bringing Grenadians together in many different activities over the years. For the past 2 years, there was a hiatus because of COVID, so we have not done much. So we've begun last year doing a picnic, and now we're on to our independence celebration. So we just getting back on stream, and we hope this year we'll get the Grenadians back up, because everybody's asking, COVID is almost not gone, but it's lingering. But people are more comfortable, so we're looking to have a great turnout. We have Inspector going to be performing. As usual, for independence, we have for cocktail, we do all Grenadians specialties. And so we're looking forward to that. And during the year coming up to the 50th, we have a list of activities we planned to get everybody back on stream and to bring us up to 50 of independence.
Great, fantastic. Sounds as though it's going to be a rather interesting time. You said Inspector will be with you?
Yes, Inspector will be with us this year.
Wow.
I mean, we've had many other entertainments this year, and a short synopsis of the Grenada Association. For the 35 years been around, we've done a lot of programs. We've done a lot of assistance to Grenada with medical supplies. we do a lot of book supplies to Grenada, book and school supplies. So we stay in touch.
Mm-hmm. Great. We have lost your audio, Liz, but we'll come back to you on the second rounds. In case you're hearing us, we lost your audio. We'll be back with you. While we're here, let me extend thanks and appreciation to Ambassador Perrott out in Florida, who assisted in the connection, making all the connections to get Liz on today. So thank you very much, Ambassador Perrott. And let me also read a short message from Ambassador Yolan Smith. She's based out in Washington. And Washington is going to be having an Independence Thanksgiving church service hosted by the Embassy of Grenada at the Holy Comforter Episcopal Church in Washington, D.C. on Sunday the 5th at 3 p.m. And that will be followed with a reception. As you all know, the last two independence services were held virtually, so the embassy is expecting a large turnout on the 5th. This is the message from Ambassador Yolan Smith in Washington, and hopefully she'll be on the podcast next week. Okay, so now we have, thank you, Liz. We'll get back to you in a short while. We had a break in your audio transmission, but we'll be back with you in a short while. Let us now go to New York to Jerry Hopkin. Jerry, are you there? Jerry, are you there? New York. All right.
Oh, yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
I
was muted for a while there.
Thought you were lost for a moment.
Let me say a pleasant good morning to you, Terry, and to the rest of your team, and to the wonderful folks we have letting us know what's happening around the diaspora. And to all of our listeners, especially those of you joining us for the first time today or who were not around last week, let me share with you the lineup of activities we have planned in New York as we celebrate the Road to 50, reflecting on the past and planning for the future. Yes, it's our 49th anniversary of independence, and we're going to be doing it in fine style here in New York City, as we are known to. Initially, on the 27th, that is Friday, January 27th, we're going to have a cultural evening. And here, the feature of this, the main attraction there is the Battle of the Parishes, we call it, where the various parishes of Grenada would compete, presenting food, handicrafts, displays regarding the history and heritage, especially the things that really, that are signature to particular parishes. And this display, this competition, you may say, will be judged, and they will have a trophy this year for the first time that the winner would take, and the winning parish would take, and that trophy would be kept in the consular office of Grenada. So it's a trophy that will be around, and every new winner will lay claim to that trophy. And the trophy will be presented at the gala event, which I'll speak about a little bit later on. In addition to the Battle of the Parishes, of course, as I said, there will be music, there will be food, and there might be a surprise performance there by an artist as well. We're going to have, it's a cultural evening, and it's going to be just that, cultural in every respect. Mm-hmm. And then on Saturday we have the Youth Fest from, by the way, the cultural evening begins at 7 p.m. and closes at 11 p.m. On Saturday, we have the Youth Fest, and that is the 27th, that is, and that would begin at 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Both the cultural evening and the Youth Fest would be at the same venue, the venue being the Our Lady of Refuge Hall, the auditorium there at that church on 2020 Foster Avenue in Brooklyn, 2020 Foster Avenue in Brooklyn. And the Youth Fest would start at 4 p.m. and some of what's in store for those of us in the diaspora at that event would be special performances by a youth group that was pulled together and has been prepared, especially by our chairperson for that subcommittee, Ms. Natifa Lubis, who is playing a lead role with the committee responsible for the planning of all of these events. Natifa has been training some young folks with the assistance of others, and they are going to be performing there. We would also have the RBC New York Lilies dancers. They would be there. Then we'll have the Junior Soca Monarch of Grenada, Keone. He will be performing at the Youth Fest. And we'll have the Diap dancers and displays of the Shotneys and Mokojumbis there as well. So quite an evening lined up for the cultural events. Then on Sunday, January 29th from 4 p.m., we have the ecumenical service. And we will bring pastors and religious clergy from various denominations, several of them, coming together to celebrate, to give thanks to God Almighty at the Episcopalian Church, the St. Gabriel's Episcopalian Church at 331 Horton Street. Most Grenadians know that location. We've had several events and independence ecumenical services at that location in the past. And that is from, again, 4 p.m. Brother Randolph Cyrus, retired school principal from St. Andrews, he is the chairperson of that subcommittee planning the ecumenical service. Then this all culminates on the 4th, on Saturday, the 4th of February. That's when we'll have the Independence Gala, which has a lot to offer. The gala would comprise of an award ceremony, dance. There would be live performances. There would be a raffle of a Cartier watch, very expensive watch. There'll also be $1,000 second prize and a $500 third prize. And the cost per ticket for that event is only $5. And those tickets are on sale now. And I'll tell you more about where those tickets can be bought, as well as tickets for the gala. So that's all of that is happening on the 4th of February, and it's happening at Ontons, the exotic and elegant Ontons at 9643 Springfield Boulevard in Queens. Again, the cocktail hour begins at 9 at that event. And we have special guests. We have visitors from Grenada. We have the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export, Honorable Joseph Andel. We also have the Honorable Andy Williams, our Minister of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation. And we have Honorable MP Delma Williams of the opposition with us for that special event. And we are looking forward to having them in New York. Folks are really looking forward to that. And they will be giving greetings from Grenada at the gala. And all of this is happening from the 27th to the 4th of February. And we are inviting all Grenadians and friends of Grenadians to come out and have a good time, celebrate with us Grenada's 49th independence anniversary. It's going to be awesome.
All right, Jerry, thank you very much indeed. We'll catch up with you on the second round. So let me take this opportunity now to head back to London. Claude, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Great, wonderful indeed. Thanks for taking the time off. I know it's you 5 hours ahead of us now? Or is it 4? 4 hours.
4.
Great. So it's afternoon, deep into the afternoon for you now. Okay.
Yes.
So tell me more about this boat trip that is being planned by your committee. How is that going down?
It's going very well. It's planned by two well-known DJs called DJ Bones and someone called QT2 Hype. They really represent the younger generation. So every year they celebrate Grenada's independence by having a boat cruise on the Thames. I spoke to them today, and that is going very well. They're a separate committee, but they cater for the younger generation.
I see. And are you expecting the presence of the High Commissioner at those events or officials from Grenada?
No, the High Commissioner will be attending the evensong on the 7th of February, where she'll be doing a reading, and the gala on the 11th of February, where she normally gives the Prime Minister's address.
Great, fantastic. Okay, so are there any other matters that you'd like to share with the listening audience before we go to the next guest on the panel?
Yeah, the only thing is, yes, I was talking about the annual Grenadian Heritage Day, which is a big event in our calendar. It takes place in July of each year. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we have had to cancel it. But this year, we want to come back with a bang. So we are in the early stages of planning, and we are looking for a new venue. We have found a couple venues. So we're looking to really resurrect the event. And the date we have in mind would be either the 9th or the 15th of July in central London. It's called Acton, which is the heart of the Grenadian community.
Yes,
in
Acton
London.
indeed. Yep. I remember Acton. That's where you can get all your dasheen and yam and tanya and just about everything.
Bush. Yes.
Including saltfish.
Saltfish.
If you want
and
anything,
breadfruit.
yes, of course. You go to Acton and you get all your stuff. That's great. Tell me, the events that you are having out there, do you have good participation from other regional countries in the Caribbean?
Yeah, yes. To be honest, for the Heritage Day, it is well attended by a wide range from the various communities. For the independence, it's mainly Grenadians and friends of Grenada. As I said, all the events have been well attended. They've been sold out for the last 15 years. So they all have been well attended. And they're hosted by the United Groups of Grenada. So it's various groups that have come together to host and fund the event, because it is fairly expensive to run, which has been very good. So this year we're really hoping to have a very nice one to follow on from the previous events.
Well, fantastic. I wish it was as easy as just leaving Grenada to attend some of your events at a very minimal cost. But that is something unreachable for the time being. But you never know what the future holds. I want to thank you for being on the program today and wish you every success, you and your entire committee, and indeed the Office of the High Commission in London, and to thank High Commissioner Grant for facilitating all of this arrangement here today. Thank you very much, Claude. Please don't rush. Please don't run off. The program continues until 1 o'clock. We have the Minister of Education joining us at about 12:45 thereabout. So please stay on the Zoom link. So thank you again, Claude Sylvester, who is the chairperson who is planning the events jointly with the High Commission in London to celebrate Grenada's 49th anniversary of independence. Back with you later on, Claude. Thank you again. We now go back to Toronto to our Honorary Consul, Dawn Francois. Dawn, are you still there with us?
I am still here with you.
Great, thank you.
I just want to emphasize how the Grenada Independence Planning Committee came about. It was a committee struck by the consulate. It is represented by various presidents of organizations, including members of the Diaspora and Friends of Grenada. So this was struck in 2010. And it has been, they're very hardworking. I mean, I must commend the committee on the work they have done over the years. They work in collaboration with the consulate in putting on these events. But as I previously said, that the gala is hosted under the Toronto Association. In regards to our church service, we do entertain, have entertainment, and we do include our local Grenadians, like artists, like Eddie Bullen. We have had a young Jeremy who played bass for us. We had Brian Hurst, who did saxophone for us at the last church service that we had. And we'll be having some of them back this year again. So we're looking forward to that. I mean, as I said, we have not been able to have anything in person in the last 2 years. So we're looking forward to welcoming all of our nationals. We also reach across the board to the different provinces. Last year we had Montreal participate, we had Vancouver participate, and this year we'll be having a pastor from Ottawa participate, and we'll be having Calgary again this year. So we're just not limiting it to Toronto only, but we're reaching across the different provinces to the diaspora to participate in the celebration of our independence. The different provinces also host their own celebrations. So we do share with our nationals here in the Toronto area so they can either look at it live on stream. So we're looking forward to all our excitement and seeing each other. And I think we're able to hug now. We haven't been able to do that for a while. So now we can, embrace each other and say hello and see each other without a mask on, as we've been doing for the past 2 years.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, it sounds all very exciting, and I want to wish you good luck and success with the planning and execution of all these arrangements that have been put in place. And we want to thank you for being on the program today. And as I indicated earlier on, you did say that you had other pressing engagements. So we'd understand if you have to, take off anytime from now. But let me thank you again, Dawn. And Dawn is the Honorary Consul, Dawn Francois, Honorary Grenada's Honorary Consul in Toronto. And she's also chair of the Independence celebration. So thank you again, Dawn. We'll be making the rounds.
You,
hopefully, if you're there,
thank you
then
for having me on, and thank you to everybody and the listeners.
Yep.
Have a good day. It's only 1 degree in Toronto, which is about 33 Fahrenheit for you. So we cold here.
Well, that's too cold for me. That's really too cold. Yeah, wow. Well,
hence
warm.
The sunshine and the water behind me to keep me grounded and warm.
Definitely. It's all in the mindset. Just think Grandance Beach and the warmth of our sunshine.
Okay,
and you'll be good.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much indeed. And again, we want to thank the Ambassador Yolan Smith in Washington for arranging the hookup, and also Ms. Bernadette Thomas Alexis, who also assisted in this exercise so we can chat with the Honorary Consul today. So we'll head back now to Florida, where we'd have Elizabeth, or she prefers to be called Liz Alec, who is the immediate past president of the Grenada Cultural and Civic Association of South Florida. Liz, welcome back to the set.
Thank you, Terry.
Great.
Yes.
So we are chatting about your activities out there, and you having quite an icon, cultural ambassador visiting you, Inspector. I can well imagine that this must be creating quite a bit of excitement in South Florida. Tell us more about that.
Yes, it has. Because as I said, we were on a hiatus for the last 2 years. So this is coming back on stream, and people are very excited. We're going to have a church service on February the 4th at the Holy Family Church. And we have a Grenadian pastor they're going to bring in. They allow us to bring him in to do the service. And they look forward to us being there because we serve a lot of Grenadian food after the church service. So we're going to have all the delicacies and all the favorite food there on that day. So people, we have a cross-section of the community that comes out, and they are looking forward to that. So we're working hard towards that. And on the 11th, we're having the big day. So we're working hard, and a lot of people are excited. And to have that occasion and to share Grenadian culture here in Florida, as we all done for the past 35 years, because we have been really being a stalwart in the community as a Grenada Association, liaison with all the other organizations, Trinidad, St. Vincent, Antigua, Trinidad and Tobago. So we're doing well. And so we're hoping to have everybody come out with us and help us get back on stream as we get ready for next year, the 50th. We have a lineup of things we want to do, culminating that event. We have a brunch that is planned. We have Breadfruit Fest, like all long fest. We also plan. We have a picnic plan. So we culminate into that, where we can go through our 50 years of independence. So we have a great celebration plan for that. So we're on the roll.
Yep, fantastic. Tell me, do you have arrangements whereby you can receive duty-free, of course, items from Grenada, like our local beer? Now we have the brewery producing local beers in Grenada. And of course, you have the Carib Brewery producing, Stag Carib. But you also have a microbrewer, and the business is called The Brewery, they're doing local Grenadian beer. Do you have the opportunity through the Customs Department in South Florida to receive some of these gifts or donations from these companies and others of Grenadian produce and products?
Yes, we've done that in the past. We go through the FDA, give them advance notice that we're bringing it in, and we have brought in liquor in the past for our events, and that's a good thought for the local brewery. We can look into that to see if we can get some Grenadian beer, because that's our specialty. On the night we serve a lot of Grenadian liquors. You know, we have quite a bit of it, so that's another avenue we can pursue to bring it in.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
And you have the local rivers and the Clark's Court and all the others. We're not short
And
of any down here.
you're not short of it, and people in Florida to utilize that opportunity. So that will be a highlight for our event, and I think doing the local beer would be great.
All right. Well, matter of fact, the last time I spoke with him, he seemed all quite excited about getting his beer onto the, Grenada markets in the diaspora. So you never know, you might just have a gift. So you must let me know how this can be accomplished.
That would be a good connection. I would appreciate the meeting that person and having to see how we could make that happen.
Okay, well, if it's okay with you, I'll, pass your contact on to him and then see what you can get out of him, including other local businesses who may wish to make a contribution to your event. And of course, this goes for the other participants on this podcast today, but let's see what can be given by the various local business houses. And for all the businessmen listening in, please, when you are contacted, please be generous. You'll be getting, lots of promotion by, donating some of your products and produce to the diaspora, a business in the making in itself. So, any final words, Liz?
Now, let's say we have done that with La Grenade. We used to get a lot of the produce from them when we have events, and for our independence, we give out gifts to the participants. So we have worked with them closely in the past to do a lot of their products here.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be great.
Great, fantastic. Well, stick around with us. We have another 10 minutes or so before the minister comes on. So we'll try to make a final rounds and say our goodbyes. So thank you again, Liz. Back with you in a few minutes, but let us just go quickly back to New York to Jerry Hopkin, who is the PR consultant for the Independence Committee in New York. Jerry, welcome back.
Yeah, Terry, you're giving me a title that that hasn't really been bestowed upon me, but
well, it has always been bestowed upon you.
It does capture what I do. I'm officially the chairperson of the PR subcommittee in Grenada's Independence Anniversary Committee of New York, GIACONI, the acronym. And since I mentioned it, let me just say this about this organization. It's operating with the blessings and under the auspices of the Consular Office of Grenada in New York. And it's a group of Grenadians of various ages, backgrounds, and affiliations. And it's entirely non-partisan. And we've had this over the years, and we have it this year. The chairperson this year is Nick Cox, whom we all met last week, for those of us who viewed and listened, and Janice Augustine, she's the vice chair. I recognize some of the subcommittee chairs earlier when I was speaking of the various events. I was remiss, but I failed to mention two others who are essential as any other, and that is Mr. Michael Vincent, who is the chairperson of the cultural evening, the cultural event, and Ms. Frances Purcell, who is the chairperson of the gala event. And I also promised listeners, viewers, that I would let folks know where they can find tickets. The tickets can be purchased online at RideBuy. That's RYDEBUY. RideBuy.com. Easy access there. And also at eventbrite.com. Eventbrite.com. We all know about Eventbrite. But when you buy from RideBuy.com, you're also supporting a Grenadian-owned business. So I'm no bias, but I'm saying I encourage folks to utilize the Grenadian-owned business, ridebuy.com, to purchase your tickets. The prices are the same either way. You can also get tickets from committee members. The names I've called here, the Michael Vincent, the Natifa Lewis, Randolph Cyrus, Francis Purcell, myself, Nick Cox, Janice Augustine, and others. Rockin' J is on the PR subcommittee as well. Everyone knows Rockin' J, Mr. Douglas, and he's one of the persons who has tickets as well. Numbers you may call, folks in New York, friends of Grenada, Grenadians at large. You can call 212-599-0301. That's 212-599-0301. Of course, some of you may recognize this as the number for consular office there in New York. And then you can also call 718-666-1110. 718-666-1110. Easy to remember. That's Rockin' J's number. You may also call 347-350-4285. 347-350-4285. That would be yours truly, Jerry Hopkins' number. So, folks, just to recap the lineup, on Friday, January the 27th, we have the cultural evening. That's happening at 2020 Forster Avenue at Our Lady of Refuge, the auditorium there. And then on the 28th, Saturday the 28th, we have the Youth Fest, and I listed what folks may expect a while ago. Something I failed to mention: the youth group that's going to be performing there. It has a special place in my heart. Why,
Jerry? You got 5 more seconds.
These are the children of Grenadians living in the diaspora, children and grandchildren of Grenadians, and they have been taught and trained to perform various cultural folk songs, dances, and so on, and they will be performing at this event. It's a special event. Ms. Natifa Lewis has a lot to do with that, herself and others. So, folks, and the third event, the Ecumenical Service, Sunday, January 29th, and then the Independence Gala, February 4th. You can go to the Facebook page of the Grenada Independence Committee and see all of that information, or just Google Grenada Independence 49th anniversary. We have a lot of content online on these events.
Great. Thank you so very much, Jerry. And catch up with you again next week. We're going to take a short break and come right back to you.
Experience the warmth and elegance of the Caribbean on a winter's night. Calling all Grenadians and friends of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Come and celebrate the 49th anniversary of Grenada's independence, Gala, Dinner and Dance. It's hosted by the United Groups of Grenada under the patronage of the Grenada High Commission on Saturday the 11th of February 2023 from 6 p.m. till 3 a.m. It's taking place at the luxurious Decorium, 22 Western Road, Wood Green, London, N22 6 The Decorium is a short walk from Wood Green Tube Station and Alexandra Palace Overground Station. This night will feature a cocktail reception, a mouth-watering 3-course Caribbean banquet, plus an independence message from Grenada's Prime Minister. You'll be also entertained by a world-renowned saxophonist, the mighty Justin. From 11 p.m. you can dance the night away to music from London's hottest DJs. Tickets are £85. Limited early bird dinner and dance tickets available at £75 until the 31st of December. Order now before they sell out. Dance-only tickets are £25 starting from 11 p.m. Come and celebrate Grenada's 49th anniversary of independence, an event that is sure to bring a smile to your face. For tickets and information, please call 07498 911 135 or 07896 505 473.
We are Grenadians.
Grenada is on the road to 50, but this year we celebrate 49. Under the patronage of the Consular Office of Grenada in New York, the Grenada Independence Anniversary Committee New York invites you to celebrate Grenada's 49th anniversary of independence, January 27th to February 4th.
Happy birthday, my dear Grenada.
Our theme this year is the journey to 50, reflecting on the past, planning the future. We shall be graced with the presence of Grenada's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export, Honorable Joseph Andel, Minister of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, Honorable Andy Williams, and Member of Parliament of Her Majesty's Opposition, Honorable Delma Thomas. The calendar of events rolls off on Friday, January 27th with a cultural evening from 7 p.m. at Our Lady of Refuge Hall in Brooklyn. Then Saturday, January 28th is the Independence Youth Fest from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. again at Our Lady of Refuge Hall in Brooklyn. The ecumenical service is on Sunday, January 29th from 4 p.m. at St. Gabriel's Episcopal Church on Hawthorne Street. The 49th anniversary of Independence Gala, dinner, dance, and awards will come off on Saturday, February 4th from 9 p.m. at the Anthems in Queens. It's all about Grenada's 49th anniversary of independence. The journey to 50, reflecting on the past, planning the future.
Okay, welcome back to all of those who are on WeFM, Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio, and indeed those of you who are on the NDC online platform. At this time, I want to express our thanks to the various chairpersons who joined us today from the Diaspora. We had Claude Sylvester from London. He is the chair who is assisting in the planning arrangements for the celebration of Grenada's 49th anniversary of independence. We extend our thanks to you, Claude, and indeed to the High Commissioner in London, Ms. Keisha Grant, and of course, all those who made it possible for you to be here today. And then we go to Toronto. We want to extend our thanks to the Honorary Consul, Don Francois. And, of course, those who assisted in this process, Ms. Bernadette Thomas Alexis, and, of course, the Ambassador Yolan Smith out of Washington. So we want to thank you so very much for joining us today, Don, and sharing your plans for the 49th anniversary of independence. Then, of course, Florida. We want to thank Elizabeth Alec, who is the past president of the Grenada Cultural and Civic Association of South Florida. And to thank you for being on the program today, and to thank Ambassador Perrott for making all the arrangements. And indeed, our good old friend Jerry Hopkin from New York, we want to thank you also for being on the program today. Jerry, catch up with you again pretty soon. But at this time, we want to go over to the big parish, St. Andrew, where we're going to link up with the Honorable David Andrew, Minister for Education, who is going to give us an overview on his successes, challenges, etc. as school reopened, I think, about 2.5 weeks ago. So welcome to the program, Minister Andrew. Good to have you on.
Good afternoon, Terry. Thank you for having me, and good afternoon to all of our listeners, wherever you are, at home, abroad. Let me take the opportunity to wish you, Terry, and your staff very fantastic 2023. I take the opportunity as well to wish all our listeners and all our partners in education a very healthy, successful, rewarding, and fulfilling 2023. I refer to our principals, our teachers, our parents, and our students. I wish all of us, all of you, a very successful 2023. And thanks for having me on the program to do a brief overview.
Yep. Well, thank you very much indeed. I know that a lot has been happening, but you've had the reopening of schools, which was like a normal event, no big uproar, etc. You want to share with us what has been some of your successes with this reopening, or maybe challenges?
Right. Yeah. So it's always good when we can open schools and have the teaching learning process continue in seamless fashion without many disruptions. And we've been able to manage whatever little there are ongoing constructions that are taking place, but even amidst those constructions, we've been able to manage the reopening quite smoothly to minimize interruptions. And we've made adjustments. So in some cases, we've had to move schools over, like in the case of St. David's Roman Catholic School. We've been able to move them over to facilitate continued construction at the main facility So all of these we've been able to manage smoothly, and school has reopened well and settled nicely, and I'm quite happy about that. We've been able to engage our principals. That's from central ministry point of view, and so I got the opportunity to meet our principals, both of primary and secondary schools, and our teachers in charge, and to be able to just briefly greet them and to have the staff at Central Ministry share a lot more with them. They're all in a good place. We are determined to collaborate with them as we share and we implement some of the initiatives that we are working towards in education. We always want to engage them and have them be very much a part of the conversation. And that we've started. And I think we're in a pretty good place given that. So that I count as successes along with the reopening of schools smoothly.
Hmm. Well, that's fantastic indeed because, I mean, lots of folks have been commenting, well, schools have reopened and I didn't hear all the bacchanal and confusion and all that used to happen in the past. What do you think is responsible for this?
Well, we are always mindful of what's at stake. And when it comes to education, when we recognize how valuable that is and how important an element in our nation's transformation that is, we are keen on minimizing loss of instructional time. We are keen on making sure we are always keeping our fingers on the pulse of the things that are important to ensure that we keep schools open at all times. So we've been monitoring, we've been planning effectively ahead of time. We have contingencies in place for things that, even the things and the projects that we met, we have since taken them on board and determined to put contingencies in place to see them roll over to minimize losses. And so I think careful planning and a committed team that we have at the ministry with motivated leadership as well, motivating and inspiring leadership, I think is helping to keep staff energized and even our field officers and principals, teachers, everybody on board to get those things done and completed in a timely manner.
Fantastic.
Yeah? So
fantastic.
I think that's one of the contributing factors.
Wonderful indeed. And how has Carriacou and Petit Martinique fared in this entire exercise?
They have fared well. We have been able to see Bishop's College students move to their new facility. Now, while there are still some bits of things needing to take place and the official handover has not taken place yet, but we are happy that we have moved them in. They were happy to move in too. And so that part, we are happy to report. They smoothly went in on the first day of school too. And so that's commendable. And we thank them, the principal, the staff, and our parents too, who have all cooperated to see the move take place. And we understand that because there's some degree of ongoing things taking place there, there may be one or two glitches, but they've all managed well. And so far they're coping. And so we thank them for their patience and understanding and support in having that done. And the support of all other departments and ministries that contributed in seeing that done, we appreciate as well. But they're doing fine as far as we understand. And we're managing all the glitches that come up from time to time.
Fantastic. Are there any major plans in place with respect to, let's say, I know there was some mention about furniture production locally, etc. Tell us something about that initiative.
Right. So I'm happy to report that with the insight of and the insistence of our Prime Minister that we, instead of procuring furniture from foreign sources, that we energize and use our local furniture producers. And let me just say that our local furniture producers were very, very appreciative of the gesture of the government to engage them to provide furniture locally. And we've had some beautiful pieces of furniture produced. I have personally visited a couple of the sites where furniture was produced. Man, it's second to none, the quality. At one of the sites in Snell Hall, St. Patrick, they produce quite a lot of the teachers and principals' desks and chairs, those of which were sent to Carriacou. They were actually produced there, some of them. And the quality is exceptional.
That's great.
But all of the furniture producers, they have been working well. We've had adjustment in timelines. So I think in most of the cases, if they have not completed, they will be completed within another week or so. But the timelines have been revised, and so they are on course to complete the production with the revised timelines, and it doesn't affect regular school operation. So we are quite happy that we moved to use the local furniture producers. They are happy too, and from all reports and the visits that we've made, we are getting good quality production, and we look forward to strengthening that collaboration with our local furniture producers. But Terry, you ask about plans. I mean, I'm shifting from the furniture a bit,
Yep.
and I'm quite excited about the times that are ahead of us in education. We started as heads of department to actually we completed doing the budget implementation plan, and I'm excited about the ideas and the actual rolling out of the things that have been allocated for within our budget. And so quickly, for those things to happen, we are going to staff. There are some key departments and some key areas we have to staff and resource if we are going to get things done. And so that's one of the priorities. But you can look forward to matters related to library and curriculum reform and review. Some very interesting things are going to be spoken about. Now, today is not a day to give the details on many of those things, but we have taken a very serious look at some strategies and some strategic things that need to happen in terms of our curriculum. Its reformation, its review, and introducing some key areas. And we've made some significant progress already with some of our technical areas in terms of strategies, for instance, to incentivize mathematics and strategies to deal with some of the poor areas in mathematics, the reading challenges. There are some key strategies that have been developed, and we'll come public with some of those as we are ready to unfold them, but they were put in our plans. And so I'm quite excited, apart from the staffing and the library curriculum, we talk about the IT. What's interesting, the coding continues, and we have been in touch with our primary coding provider, and we are reviewing and revising the curriculum that's supposed to be taught to get a certain degree of specificity from it. And that is happening. We continue to do that, and we continue to broaden our discussion on the delivery of technology skills, not just coding. And so I'm all very excited because all of the things I'm talking about are things that are laid down in the budget implementation plans that we have put together for rollout within the year with timelines and all of that. And we have some timelines to set up technical education outlay and all of that. So I'm very, very excited. We have a bunch of forward-thinking, cooperative, and energized staff at Central Ministry, and I'm excited about what's ahead for us in education.
Well, sounds all really fantastic. And let me congratulate you on the initiative by involving the local furniture producers to produce furniture for the schools. But having said that, is it possible that maybe schools can have a small workshop where, you know, the older students can do repairs to these furniture so they get that hands-on skills training as part of their development process as they move out of primary schools? Is that in the making?
Well, part of the discussions that we've had is for technical education is the use of centers of excellence, and furniture repair would be part of the routine exposure that students will have if they end up in that line of technical education.
Yep.
So, or furniture making, for instance, if that's the area they would get into. So the area of repair and students being involved in that repair in some of those centers has been discussed and will be part of the technical education strategy that we would roll out within the next 30 to 50 days. Put it that way.
That is indeed fantastic because notwithstanding the passage of time, the GBSS, when I attended there was a technical institute, which is now called the Craft Center, where individuals were mandatory, at least on a Friday, you must spend at least 2 hours in the technical center. And you had the opportunity to learn drafting, architecture, carpentry, plumbing, mechanics, you name it. Those things were
Yeah,
made available. So I'm
yeah.
happy to hear that, this is coming back on stream. But time has caught up with us. So if you have any closing remarks, we invite you at this time. Mr. Andrew, you there?
Hello.
Yeah, we seem to have lost your audio. I was saying time has caught up with us. If you have any closing remarks you wish to make at this point in time.
Well, I'm just happy to have had the opportunity to share briefly with the public an overview of what we can anticipate in the education sector this year. And I do look forward to continuing to give good stewardship and leadership as Minister for Education. And I look forward to collaborating and working with all of our partners, from the management of the national boards to parents, to the unions, to students, to teachers, principals, to everyone in the sector. I look forward to collaborating to see education continue to move forward in the direction that we want to have it move. And Terry, I want to thank you for having me and for giving me the opportunity to do just that today. Thank you.
Well, thank you so very much, Minister Andrew, for sharing some of your valuable time today. I know you've had your church commitments and your constituents commitments and, of course, commitment to your family, etc. So I know it's difficult indeed. So we want to express our sincere thanks for being on the Heartbeat today. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And let me take this opportunity to finally thank all those who appeared earlier on. The chairman of the Independence Committee in London, Mr. Claude Sylvester, Don Francois, who is the honorary consul in Toronto. Then we had Elizabeth Alec out of Florida, and out of New York, we've had Jerry Hopkin. And indeed, we've had a message from the Ambassador Yolan Smith out in Washington. So it was all about the journey to 50, reflecting on the past, planning for the future. Grenada's 49th year of independence. So we want to thank you so very much. And indeed, we want to recognize Ms. Jacqueline Alexis, who is the chairperson of the Grenada Independence Anniversary Celebrations Committee. Maybe next week she may choose to come back on or delegate someone to do so in order just to share some updates as to what's happening locally with our own celebration. Thank you all so very much. And for those of you, let me just mention quickly, who remembered my brother Rochi, locally known as Rochi, Lorenzo Kreithoff Forrester. He will be laid to rest on the 2nd of February, 1 o'clock, at the Catholic Church in Grenville. Thank you all very much. Do have a pleasant Sunday afternoon and catch up with you next week. Goodbye.